Now, the one nice thing is, since we take the time to change subtraction into adding the opposite, we know everything has addition signs in the middle of it. So we know this has to be addition. So technically, it's going to go there. Okay. So now we just add them up going this way. Okay. So you can start at the right if you want to do it old school way. You want to start at the front, it doesn't matter. There's no carrying or borrowing here. So I've got x and negative 4x. You know by now, if there's nothing in front of the variable, it's like there's a 1 there. So if I have 1x and I take away 4x's, I have negative 3x's, 6 and 9, 15. And that's it. Okay, let's go to the problem underneath that. A little bit longer, more subtraction signs, but not any more difficult, really.
Yes. Why did you subtract them when you said add?
1 plus negative 4.
Oh, it was negative.
Yeah. That's that negative sign in front of me.
Okay.
All right. 6x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 10 added to 8x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4. X cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 10 plus 8x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4. All right, so there's a whole bunch of subtraction signs that need to get changed here. A whole bunch. We got this one here, we got that one there, we got this one here, that one there. All need to get rewritten. So I'm probably going to rewrite the whole thing. 6x cubed plus negative 2x squared plus negative 5x plus 10 added to 8x cubed plus negative 3x squared plus negative 3. All right, so again, only thing I did in the first step, all the subtraction signs became adding the opposite. It's the only thing I did. Only thing. All right, so now I need to, since there's no separating subtraction here, there's an addition sign in the middle of the whole thing. All right, I'm going to write it coming up and down now, vertically. Instead of rewriting this whole thing again, I'm just going to write it under here. There's no need for me to rewrite this again. So 8x cubed underneath the 6x cubed. Now the next thing is negative 3x squared underneath the negative 2x squared. And then the last thing is the negative 4. All right, so that's going to go out here underneath the 10. Now, notice there's nothing underneath negative 5x. There's nothing that necessarily has to be underneath anything. You can have gaps in these problems. You might not have anything that matches up with certain things. That's okay. It's not a big deal. That just means you don't actually have to add anything to it. It still goes in the answer. There's just nothing to add to it. You might have an extra spot on the top. You might have a blank spot on the bottom. It doesn't matter. All right. So we go to the adding process now. So 6x cubed and 8x cubed, 6 and 8 make 14. Negative 2x squared and negative 3x squared, add those up, that's negative 5x squared. Again, plus signs between everything. We know that, that's why we changed it. Negative 5x, that's all by its lonesome, so that's just going to come down by itself. It doesn't have a date for the prompt. And 10 and negative 4, 10 and negative 4 make 6. So plus 6. And that's it. There's definitely no lack of writing in this method. That I will tell you. Which I know for most of you means you'll never do it this way, but... Alright. So now we go to some problems with separating subtraction, which complicates the issue a little bit. Go to example 3. 9x squared plus 5x plus 7 minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 8. 9x squared plus 5x plus 7 minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 8. Alright, so first job is to handle the subtraction signs in the parentheses. There's only one here. It's that one. So instead of me rewriting this whole shebang at this point, let me just change that into plus negative 3x. Took care of the job and you didn't have to rewrite it. Now this particular problem also has the dreaded separating subtraction. That's that right there. When you have a separating subtraction, yes, you are going to change it into adding the opposite, just like all the other times we've done. The problem is that that negative has to go through to everything in the parentheses after it. Right? It's like distributing a negative 1 through. So you're going to change the signs of every part here. So this is going to become plus. This first part's fine. No problem there. Now, so instead of 4x squared here, this is going to become negative 4x squared. Instead of negative 3x, the thing we just changed, it's going to become plain old 3x. And instead of 8 there, it's going to be negative 8. Didn't change the addition signs. Okay, that's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm just telling you to change the signs on the numbers. So instead of 4, negative 4. Instead of negative 3, positive 3. Instead of 8, negative 8. That does add a complicating issue to it. It takes a little bit longer. Once you got that down, then it's back to what we were just doing before. Line it up and add it up. Okay. So, got 9x squared plus 5x plus 7. I'm going to add to it negative 4x squared. So line up the x squareds. 3x, line it up with the 5x. And negative 8, line it up with the 7. It's not anything different than 1 and 2, it's just got the separating subtraction. Alright, so now we can add this up. So 9x squared and negative 4x squared, that's of course 5x squared. 5x and 3x make 8x. 7 and negative 8 make negative 1. And again, addition signs between everything. Yup.
How come for number, or example 1 and example 3 you did it like that, but example 2 is like...
I just didn't want to rewrite that whole thing again.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing, I just didn't rewrite 6x cubed plus negative 2x squared plus negative 5x plus 10.
Oh, okay.
If you guys want to rewrite it in your notes, we can do that.
No.
I didn't think you'd say yes. That's why I said it. Alright, let's go to 4. One last vertical problem, then we'll probably skip 7, but we'll get a couple horizontal problems in here. Negative 7x squared, it's a little bit cut off. Darken that up. That's better. Negative 7x